A grateful heart is always a happy heart. A blessed day, everyone! Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, for today's episode, andito ako ngayon sa room ni KieL. For today's vlog, I want to share with you all another beautiful testimony of my life on how God gave us our son Ezekiel. For many of you who didn't know, it took us 3 years before KieL came into our lives. It was a long journey and it wasn't easy, but it's all worth the wait. And I want to dedicate this vlog for all of you who are still patiently waiting, who are still praying that one day God will also give you a child of your own. So join me once again as I open my diary, as I share with you my living testimony of faith, love, and hope. Ruben and I got married in December of 2013. Though we didn't plan to have a baby that soon, after quite some time, we felt like maybe it's about time. But as we all know, God has different timing from us. And siguro sabi ni God during the time, wait, not yet, because I'm still working on something. So after a year, we tried to consult an OB/GYN for help. And I wasn't surprised when the doctor told me that, I have PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome. Because ever since I was in college, I was already diagnosed with PCOS. That's the reason why I am having irregular menstruation. And I also found out that, my uterus lining is very thin. So that's the reason why, that's the two main reasons why it's hard for me to conceive. So I have to take a lot of medication from pills. So she wanted to regulate my menstruation first, and then after that I even have to take metformin. That medicine is usually taken by those patients who are diabetic para bumaba ata yung sugar level nila. But for my case, the doctor said that it would help me thicken my uterus lining. And I hate that medicine so much. I have to take it, if I'm not mistaken, 2 to 3 times a day. And sobrang sakit sa ulo. Minsan, I vomit. And I also got diarrhea because of it. At sobrang nag-weak yung immune system ko kasi hindi ako makakain. I had a lot of breakout. Yun na yung time na pinakamarami ko yatang pimples. But then for me, it was okay. For as long as, I'd be able to conceive. We've consulted a doctor here in the Philippines at the same time in Singapore. And pareho lang halos ng medication, ng diagnosis. And it's really a roller coaster ride of emotions. I can't explain how painful it is every time my period will get delayed. I have to buy pregnancy kits. Kits talaga kasi parang pag nag-negative yung isa, magta-try ka ulit, baka sakali. And though lagi mong sasabihin sa sarili mo na, okay, don't expect too much. If it's time, it's time. But deep inside, there's this hope na, Lord, sana positive, sana, Lord, 2 lines. But every time, month after month, I will see just 1 line. And it hurts. I think the most painful part about having that difficulty in conceiving is most of the times the words that you hear from other people. Because there would be these people who are very insensitive on what you feel. May mga magsasabi na, bakit? Wala pa, ang tagal naman, ang hina nyo naman, ang dali-dali eh. Kahit pa joke. Parang, diba? It's still something. And some would even, this one I remember. Dami-dami niyong pera, wala naman kayong anak. Para saan pang perang yan? Sayang naman. It's like, do you have to say that. And some people would ask, ano, bakit nagpatingin na ba kayo? Baka may baog sa inyong dalawa. Sinong baog sa inyong dalawa? It's like, alam niyo yun talagang verse sa Bible na, Lord, forgive them kasi hindi nila alam yung sinasabi nila. People can be that insensitive to that extent. And I think that it's nice to address this, that, you know, it is never polite to ask somebody like that. Never. Ka-close mo man yan, at lalo na kung hindi kayo close. Unless that person opens up with you. Because that's really a sensitive issue, you know, to talk about. Maybe for you okay lang, but to that person who's experiencing it, it's really difficult. And you have to respect others' feelings. Yun yung masakit na part dun. And sometimes, you know, you hear it from neighbors, sometimes from relatives, though hindi naman nila intensyon, di ba, na makasakit. But, minsan pag paulit-ulit na, masakit yun. So, let's be more careful on the things that we say, we ask. When you know someone na hindi pa nagkakaanak hanggang ngayon at alam niyo matagal na silang kasal, please don't ask anymore. Kasi kung magkakababy sila, malalaman niyo. So kung wala pa, you don't have to ask, meron na ba? Nakita mong wala, di ba? Be sensitive enough. And I remember this one time when my body can't take it anymore because I have a lot of medications to take. Bumaba yung immune system ko and I got hospitalized. And in the hospital, I was thinking to myself, I actually messaged Buben, who is in the United States during that time. I told him, Han, okay lang ba if hindi na tayo magpa-workout? Kasi hindi na talaga kaya ng katawan ko as much as I wanted. And kung ibibigay, ibibigay. And I'm so grateful kasi what Buben replied to me was, yes, Han. Alam mo, hindi ang pinakamahal na gamot, ang pinakamagaling na doktor, even the most advanced procedure, hindi yun ang makakapagbigay sa atin ng anak. At the end of the day, si God pa rin ang magbibigay ng pinagdarasal natin. And sobrang thankful ako. I felt relieved. Kasi di ba kung sa iba, sasabihin na, hindi, wag kang sumuko. Paggamot pa rin tayo. Pero I'm grateful because me and my husband have the same kind of faith. And we just lift everything to the Lord. And I told myself, the moment I got discharged from this hospital, the first thing that I will do is to go to my OB-GYN and say, pasensya na, Doc, pero magtitigil muna po kami ng medications at hindi na po ako magpapa-workout. Kung ano ang will ni Lord for us, tatanggapin na lang po namin. And I did. The day after I got discharged from the hospital, I went straight away to my OB-GYN's clinic. And it happened na yung clinic niya is just next to his husband's clinic, who is a pediatrician. And they're actually having the same secretary who is attending the patients there. While I was waiting for my turn, meron akong kasama sa loob ng clinic na patient din, na may kasamang anak, na siguro mga around 4 years old yung bata. Sobrang payat ng batang lalaki. And siguro yung mother is just my age. And I happened to hear their conversation. Sabi nung nanay dun sa secretary, Miss, kailangan po ba talaga tong turok na to para sa anak ko? The secretary replied, Opo, kasi yun po ang advice ng doktor kasi mahina po yung baga ng anak nyo. At kalalabas lang din po niya sa ospital. And then, tinanong ng nanay, magkano po ba ang aabutin? And then, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 4,500 to 5,500. At kitang-kita ko kung paano binuksan ng nanay yung wallet niya. Binilang niya kung magkano yung laman. Maluha-luha siyang tumingin sa anak niya. At sinabi niya dun sa nurse na, okay lang po ba na ito lang muna yung maibigay ko? Basta turukan niyo lang po muna yung anak ko. Pangako po, babayaran ko po yung kulang. And of course, the nurse answered na hindi pwede. At I can see kung gaano siya naaawa sa sitwasyon nilang mag-ina at lalo yung awa niya para sa anak niya. And you know, I heard this voice at the back of my head saying na, Lord, napaka-unfair mo naman. Bakit siya? Binigyan mo ng anak. Siya na hindi naman kayang ibigay yung pangangailangan ng anak niya. Pero binigay mo. Bakit ako hindi? Bakit ako na kaya ko namang mag-provide ng pangangailangan ng isang bata? Hindi mo pa rin ako bigyan. But you know, I know for sure that it is the enemy. It is the enemy who's trying to provoke me to get mad with God. Out of the blue, bigla ko na lang nasabi na, sige miss, turukan mo na yung anak niya. Kung ano yung kulang, kung magkano yung kulang, ako na lang yung magbabayad. And I'm not sharing this to brag. Please don't get me wrong. I am sharing this because I know in my heart that I heard the Holy Spirit na, you know, parang, yes, hindi pa pinagkakaloob yung bagay na pinagdarasal mo, but you are still blessed. And you can still be a blessing even without having that blessing yet na hinihingi mo. I know for sure that it wasn't an accident na andun kami pareho ng nanay na yun. I know it was God who's trying to tell me something, who's trying to teach me something. And I just remember this beautiful verse from James chapter 1, verses 2 to 4. It says there, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Consider it pure joy. And it's so ironic, no? How can we consider it pure joy? How can we experience pure joy in the midst of every trial? But I think what God is trying to tell us is that, you know, I am not answering your prayer yet because I am still working on you so that you may be mature and complete. And so when the right time comes, you won't lack anything. You feel more deserving of it. So be grateful na hindi ko pa binibigay yung hinihingi mo. And I am always reminded na hindi pa man binibigay ni God yung pinagdarasal ko, mas marami siyang ibinigay kahit hindi ko naman hiningi. I never prayed for this house. I mean, yes, I wanted to have a house, but having a house is not on my list. But maybe God is trying to tell me na, you know, you have to wait. Diba? Gusto ko meron mo ng bahay ang magiging anak mo bago ko ibigay yun sa inyo. Gusto ko maging fully prepared and equipped muna kayong mag-asawa bago ko ibigay ang responsibility ito sa inyo. I want you to be fully matured and complete. And one of my favorite Bible verse that I really hold on to is this verse from Luke 1:45. It says, "Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill His promises to her." And He did. God is faithful to His promises. Hi everyone! I am back for another video vlog ko, no? Because I just want to share some things that I feel that is worth sharing sa atin pong lahat. As you all know, I am on my 8th month of being pregnant. I think 8 months and a week, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just so thankful and grateful to God na, alam niyo yun, for almost 3 years that we've been praying. Now, our prayer has been answered. And so, thank you, Lord, for everything. And, alam niyo yun, minsan talaga, marami tayong prayers na may mga nasasagot agad. Meron naman na nag-iintay pa rin. And hopefully, these things that I'm going to share with you all would somehow make you more patient on waiting. Kasi sabi nga, patience is a virtue. And it's always worth it. Kung ano man yung iniintay natin, it's worth the wait. Ika nga. So, let me show this to you. I have to show this to you. If you're thinking, ano nga ba itong mga to? As you can see, meron tong mga date. Halos sunod na month in 2016. Before po ako nagpuntang Amerika noon, I bought 8 pregnancy kits, and hoping na bago ako bumalik sa Pilipinas, after 9 months, sana ang isa sa mga ito ay nag-positive. And as you can see, every month, I am being delayed. Usually by weeks. Not just by days, but by weeks. And unfortunately, sad to say, all of these are failed pregnancy kits. It's a negative one. And you can imagine how frustrating that can be. Na talagang siguro umiiyak ako every month. But then, I told myself I always have the choice to be bitter or to be better. And I told myself na I'm not going to throw away this failed pregnancy kits, because one day, alam ko na I'm going to look back on these failed kits, and I would thank God that He reminded me, that it's all worth the wait. Kahit na nag-undergo kami for advanced medical procedures sa States, at negative pa rin, talagang nag-cling pa rin kami kay God. Kasi alam namin na isang araw, in His most perfect time, ibibigay niya yun sa amin. And then we came back on September 2016. After a month, my husband Ruben left again for work. October, and then he came back again on December the same year. And just a month vacation, 2017, January 26th, I tried again kasi I'm not feeling well for a couple of days. And to my surprise, sa mga panahong hindi mo inaasahan, God answered our prayers. It's a positive light. Hi, I'm back for another video blog. But first of all, I want to say thank you so much for all of your prayers for me and baby KieL. I did have a very safe delivery via C-section. And now KieL is a very healthy boy, so cute and so charming. So again, thank you so much for all of you who prayed for us. Well, I want to make this video just to share some of my experiences as a first-time mom. It is a very rewarding experience that I would be forever grateful for. It can be quite tiring. No, it's not quite tiring. It's very tiring. Having only 1 to 2 hours of straight sleep, but then I take it as a reminder for me to always be grateful. As you can see on my background, I set up our master bedroom with Bible verses just to remind us every day that God has been so faithful to us and God has been so good to us. So, we only have the same God. The God who has been so loving to us, being generous to us, is the same God who also loves every one of us. And again, as some of you know, we waited patiently for 3 years for us to have a baby, and finally now he's here with us. I'll show him to all of you. He's sleeping right now, my sweet Carl Ezekiel. And I just always fall in love with him every time I stare at him. He's a beautiful reminder of God's love for us. And I know in time, if you all have your prayers that hasn't been answered yet, in time, if you wait patiently and if you just continue praying, believe that you will have it in God's most perfect timing. So, there he is. So cute. And kung dumating man ang time na talagang hindi ka pagkalooban ng anak. Believe me when I say, hindi ang pagkakaroon ng anak ang kukumpleto sa'yo. And I'm not saying this because meron na akong anak. Hindi ang lalaki ang kukumpleto sa buhay mo. Hindi ang pagkakaroon ng anak. Hindi ang pagkakaroon ng magandang trabaho, ng pagkakaroon ng successful na career. Hindi ang pagkakaroon ng maraming pera sa bangko ang makakapagpakumpleto sa pagkatao mo. It is only God Himself who can complete us. Hindi natin matatagpuan yung pagiging buo apart from Him. And I have known a lot of people na hindi man sila binayaan ng anak, they are still blessed. They're blessed in so many ways. And yung buhay nila itself is a huge blessing for us and for the people around them. And hindi ka bawasan ng pagkatao kung wala kang anak. It doesn't make you less of a person. Again, it's only God who can complete us. Siya at siya lang. God's love never fails. Sa mga panahong akala natin hindi tayo naririnig, sa mga panahong tila ba wala nang saysayang panalangin, trust and believe that God is working behind the scene. God listens and God sees every pain, every disappointment, every dream, and every prayer. Huwag kang mawalan ng pag-asa. Huwag kang mapagod magdasal. When we are blinded by silence, know that God is still working on us, so that we may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. And finally, when the time is right, then we will understand that every pain is worth it and that everything is worth the wait.